Artist Cat Kerr is here with, well, a hoop project. That's just amazing because it's nothing like I ever thought an embroidery hoop would look like.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to think a little out of the box. And
out of the hoop.
Out of the hoop, absolutely. And I had some laying around, so I said, why not use these in a project, a quick and easy project. Yeah.
Let's do it then.
Yeah, so the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add some color to the hoop.
Okay.
And I'm using these wax pastel crayons. And they're super easy to use. I'm actually just applying it directly to the hoop.
Okay.
I wanted to use two different colors just to add some interest. And
well,
you
I
can
always think
blend
when you use different colors, it's like you get more interesting colors.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see they really kind of blend nicely.
They're very creamy.
Very creamy. And I like to add color to the outside of the hoop, to the inside, as well as to the top. And there's no need to dry, so I just put it aside and I move on to the next step, which is my background.
So I'm obsessed with magazines. I have piles of them on my floor because they're always full of so many like beautiful pictures, inspiration, products I want to buy, you know, all sorts of ideas. And often I'll cut pieces out or rip things out that are interesting to me, but we were talking before about how that destroys your precious, you know what I mean, magazines. But actually, one of the things I think is cool is some magazines actually have inside them these kind of like perforated pages, right, where there's nothing on the back really, so that you can feel free to use them. So you said that we were going to take a look through some of the papers here and pick one that we liked.
I do actually keep a pile of these at home because when I'm looking to make a fast, speedy project, this is the first pile that I go to.
Okay.
So once I've added the color to my hoop, I just pick a coordinating color.
You audition.
Coordinating paper, and then I glue the hoop down and let it dry. And once it's dry, I just trim around with a pair of scissors.
Okay, do you need to use a wood glue or something like that, or it doesn't really matter, just a craft glue is fine?
Just a regular craft glue is fine. And so I end up with this right here, and I still want to bring it up a little bit, so I'm just going...
I think about it as personalizing. Like, it's great, it's a great speedy thing to have somebody else's paper, do you know what I mean, under your work. You don't always have to hand paint your own stuff. But if you add a little something of yourself to it, then it means nobody else on earth has that paper.
Right. And I also want to make a note that on the back side of these papers, it does have the artist information. So if I, you know, I like to make these as gifts, and I like to tell the person that I'm giving them to. These are made from, so I think
giving
that's
people
also,
credit. I always think it never looks bad on you to give other people credit. And I like also so much, if we look at the dried one too, I can see where that splatter integrates the hoop with the background.
Yes, yeah, it just brings it all together. And before I put this aside, I also like to take some of that same color that I added to the hoop. I normally do this first before I add the splatters, and I'll just take some of that same color and I'll put it to the, I'll make almost like a shadow.
And I do want to point out that the reason this works is because you're using a water-soluble crayon. If you were using a crayon, like a regular crayon, it's not going to work or something like that. You need something that is going to react with water.
Right, absolutely. And so this is what we have. And now I want to work on the focal piece. And I actually started with these wood cutouts. And again,
this is when pigs fly. Something exciting is going to happen.
I wanted to again add some color. So I'm using the same water-soluble crayons, and I wanted to have more of a gradient look. So I'm starting with the yellow, and then I'll use a little sponge.
I think it's so interesting that you blend with the sponge and not with your finger, because I often find my finger is sore after a lot of blending, so that's clever. Using your brain instead of your brawn, I like it.
Whatever works for you. If you don't have the sponges, I mean, there's just so many ways.
A kitchen sponge will work. I mean, I've seen people use rags and stuff like that. It's just, I'm super lazy and these are attached to me and I can't always find things. So things that are attached to me are helpful tools.
And you can see they blend really, really nicely.
They do, and you're getting a rainbow there, which is really cool. And I can see that if you spend a little bit of time with the blending, you really do get, there's not a hard line. It becomes really soft, which is cool.
And so the next step is I'm just going to add some gold. I always like adding gold to things.
I like a little bit of glitter.
So I'm adding this acrylic spray, and I'm
you're adding an acrylic spray, but you're doing it wrong.
No, there's different ways to do it.
Let's talk about this seriously. So most of the time, it's a spraying.
Yeah.
I'm used to spray, just like you would have perfume. But what you're doing is actually taking out the spraying device. May I splatter on your pig?
Of course.
And splattering. And just talk to me a little bit about why you're doing that instead of traditionally spraying. What's the difference?
I feel like I have a little bit more control.
That's hilarious that you think you have more control when you're just flicking it.
Because, I mean, if it's okay for me to show you, when I do spray it, it's more clustered together. And when I tap it with my finger, I can kind of choose where I add the gold. And right now it looks white.
It doesn't look gold to me.
Yeah, when it dries, it will look white. And it'll look something, I mean, it'll look gold, and it'll look something like that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so then I just finish off this little pig by adding a, just a title to the center.
Where do you get your sayings? Do you just type them up on a typewriter? Do you buy stickers? Like, what's your favorite way?
A little bit of both. Okay. I like buying stickers, and also if I, you know, in books, old books, I'll grab some of those also. And so I add a title, and I'm also going to use some glitter glue and just go around the edge. I think it just adds a nice little amount of bling to it.
So if we're thinking about when should we stop adding bling, I guess the answer is if there's still some empty space. The answer is no. I like that. The answer is no. We keep adding.
So you just go around the entire edge, and you end up with this guy right here.
Oh my gosh. And it says right here, right, happiness depends on ourselves, and nothing else could be more true.
Right.
I love that as a saying.
And I love the flying pig with it. It's just perfect.
Me too.
So I will assemble this by just taking gluing in a little wood spacer. Normally I, just use any craft glue.
So it's just a little leftover piece of something.
Exactly.
And that's almost like foam adhesive that I use when I'm making paper crafts. But since we're using something wood, we need something more substantial, right?
Right, that's right. And I just added a little bit of string. No reason, just a little bit of fun.
Well,
and
I also
then
think it adds some movement,
yes.
right? It's so dynamic behind that piece.
Absolutely, and then I just finish it off with even more glitter.
Because the answer to when should you stop adding glitter is
no.
No.
That's
exactly.
right.
I like it. And if we look over at the finished pig, I can see the glitter, the thread, that rainbow, the bling, the whole thing. It's completely fabulous. Do you want to tell us about anything about the other pieces?
What I love about this project is that it is so versatile. You can really use, I mean, there's so many different color crayons, and there's just so many different ideas and options.
This is a great gift to give somebody, like you said, because you can personalize it to them, to their space, their colors, their favorite motif, whatever that is.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Kat.
Thank you.